Hi, I'm Steve from the Bike Tailor. We're now at our new London fitting studio at Rapha Service Course up in Archway. We're going to be fitting on Thursdays and Fridays here. So it doesn't really matter whether you're a commuter, a weekend warrior, you ride 100k with your friends every weekend, or you're a pro cyclist. A bike fitting is a very good option to get you set up properly on your bike. We involve saddle pressure mapping. We have 3D motion capture through VeloLogic. It allows us to analyse your body, check all the angles, make sure everything's running in the right place for you. Also with the saddle pressure, and also we do custom insoles where we can get them tailor-made to make sure your feet are stabilised in the right position. If you're looking for any information about the bike fitting, please go to our website. You can book through there by clicking on the London book button or the Brighton book button. Today we're at Rapha's Service Course up in Archway to fit Jacob to his bike and run through the bike fitting process. Hi Jacob, nice to meet you.
Hi Stephen, nice to meet you.
Have you had any bike fitting experience in the past?
No, this is my first one.
Cool. Is this sort of like your first major road bike you've got?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So you're into road riding. Do you do any other riding apart from road?
Quite keen to maybe test out gravel.
How long have you been riding for?
From a young age, but
Yeah.
road cycling probably since I was about 14, 15.
Okay. So in a few years of that, you've done over 10 years of riding then, so your level's good then, that's good. Okay, how many hours per week do you cycle?
Probably about 3 or 4.
Okay. What do you say your cycling strengths are?
I'd say I'm probably a bit of an all-rounder.
Okay,
Can get uphill.
Pretty good at the hills, okay. What do you say your typical cycle distance you cycle, you know, in kilometres per week?
Per week, probably between 100 and 200, depends how busy I am.
Is there anything you'd like to improve that you know of at the moment? Do you feel you're lacking something?
I'd like to push kind of the endurance side of things.
Okay.
I've
Longer
done
rides, yeah?
Yeah, I've done a few kind of over 100k, but would love to push it nearer to like 200.
Okay. Okay, so when we're on the bike, yeah, how's the neck feel?
Generally okay.
Generally okay?
Yeah,
Is that like
fine.
into a longer ride?
I think
or?
into a longer ride towards the end, perhaps like kind of upper back might be.
Yeah, okay.
Might notice that a bit more.
Neck and upper back, yeah? Is it upper back and lower back as well, or just the upper part?
Both, I'd say, so like across the whole back.
Okay, cool.
It would be, yeah, towards the end of like longer rides.
Once you get them in the ride, you say they're longer on the longer rides than the 100k ones, but like, how long do they stay? Do they dissipate like when you stop riding? Is it like you get off the bike and it's fine? Or it's like, it stays with you for half an hour, or a little bit longer?
I think when I get off the bike, it tends to go
10, 15
yeah,
minutes?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not like an issue where like, you know, I've come off a long ride and I'm feeling it for like the rest of the day or anything. Or
Okay, so now we've taken all the information about your riding style and what you do. We're going to go and do some measurements now, an inseam one, and then we're going to do shoulders, then we're going to look at your feet. So if you'd like to follow me over, let's get this done. This cleat position here I tend to use for people who are doing Ironman or triathlon, where we pull the cleat all the way back so it's behind the first and fifth metatarsal, which basically is the ball of the foot. So we're pulling you behind that. The reason being is when you're doing a triathlon or Ironman race, you've got like, you know, either a half marathon, a marathon to do, or, you know, a decent sort of run. You get the jelly leg effect basically. So you come into transition, come off the bike, and usually what you find is people like stumbling to get into their trainers, yeah? But you pull the cleat back, you don't activate the calf as much, which means that you can get into transition and you can go bang straight out on the run. Where before you were sort of like, oh, it's a bit tentative. You know, you feel unstable a little bit this way. And I've done this, I've tested people with this for like about 10 years now. It works. Yeah. Everyone I've done it to's gone, I couldn't believe the difference I had when I got into transition, Steve. There was like 30 seconds I probably saved. So all these things add up basically. It's about finding what's right for you though, okay? So we will play around with this. Right, Jacob, what we're going to do now is going to get you onto the massage table, which we're going to use to do some flexibility tests. We're going to test your hip flexors and your hamstrings. If you'd like to sit down on here for us. So what I want you to do is lift your leg up, put the ball of your foot into my palm there, Okay, just relax it so it's like a dead weight. What we're going to do is we're going to check your flexibility. And we can tell that's quite tight there, Jacob, because your knee's bending.
Yeah, it's not surprising.
It's quite tight, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, do you do any yoga or Pilates or anything like that?
Not regularly enough. Every now and again.
Right,
I definitely do struggle with my flexibility.
I think that's something you're going to have to start working on, buddy. Especially if you want to become a pro.
For the tour next year.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit more flexible on this side. Okay. Lift that down. Okay, so you're literally just on the cusp again on this side. It's actually a little bit less. That was 75, that's 70 on that. We're in the border of what it should be from 70 to 90. Ideally, we want to be up in the higher figures, you know, a little bit more flexible there. Would suggest doing a bit of body maintenance. So yoga, hot yoga, even Pilates. I'm a big fan of hot yoga. Yeah. So it's a good sort of like way of, the body heats up a lot more, so you can get a lot more stretching done. So yeah, definitely have a look at that. Okay. Excellent. Like a couple of points out really from each side, so it's not too bad. But as I say, that doing some flexibility work is a necessity, I think.
Would hot yoga help with that as well?
Yeah, yeah, definitely try and get hot yoga. So the reason we've just done this now is I like to see people before we put the stickers on, so that we can see how you're cycling, and we can always already identify there's a few issues that we spoke about. So what we're going to do is we're going to get you off the bike in a second. We're then going to calibrate the bike, which is like 5 positions in the bike we take readings from on both sides, and then we'll sticker you up and be able to start from there.
Okay, brilliant.
Cool. I mean, you can't see it here because they're very light, yeah? But these are all your angles that you're cycling at.
Yeah.
So this in a minute. So if you just get up to a nice sort of like tempo, nothing too fast, but nothing too slow, you can come down a gear on the back or two. So this is your knee tracking on both sides, okay? Your left and your right. Okay, what we're trying to do is basically get them even. So they want to be running on top of each other. So as I said, we're having a look at how your knees are tracking basically. And you can see you're coming a little bit heeling in on that side, on the left side. So this side here. So what we're going to try and do is straighten it up a little bit, just make it so it's like in line basically again. So how we talked about the cleat position before, where it's quite far forward, we're going to turn it the other way now. We're going to push it further forward.
Will that straighten the knee?
It will help with it. There's a few things we need to do with it, so it'll be a work in progress. Okay, if you want to carry on cycling, I'm going to take a video capture now. These 2 arrows, the one with the green and the one with the blue, you really want them nearly like you've got over here on your left-hand side. They're nearly on top of each other. You want nice constant loops like that, so it means you're cycling straight in a circle, basically. You're not going...
Is that tracking the knee?
Yeah, this is knee tracking. These 2 parts here. So this
is
the
as my knee comes up, it's further out from the bike.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
So when you pedal, if you pedal again for us, so you're turning on there. If you saw that straight away there, yeah. So we'll have a look at that. And remember how I said how you were pronating as well? So where you pronate, you turn.
Is it related?
Yeah. So when you're putting the power down, what happens is you're pedaling through the stroke, but you're turning as well. Yeah. So it turns the heel in, out, then gets that going not straight. So we'll have a look at that. We're going to have a look at the cleat position now for you, Jacob. At the moment, you've got them pulled all the way back. So as I said, if you were doing a triathlon, that would be ideal, you know. You don't get jelly leg when you get into transition. So we're going to start off, we're going to push them forward so over the 1st and 5th metatarsal, and we'll see how you are from there. So basically, we're going to get you back on the bike now. So we're going to change the cleat position. Every time we do a position change, what we do is we take another video. Because at the end of this session, basically, we'll be able to do what we call as a morph, which is like, it encompasses all the videos and it morphs them together so you can see the position changing over the whole foot. Do you want to hop back on? Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to move the saddle forward, but I'm going to just a degree down in tilt. Not much. It's about a centimetre, roughly, it's come forward. You can see how I just like tilted, it was like that. Yeah. So I just tilt it a little bit like that. This means take pressure away from the perineum area. So when you sit down basically on the saddle, people forget there's tons of nerve endings and blood vessels running under and gooch area around those areas. So it's the same thing for ladies. If it's too high up, you'll get pressure, which then will come into pain. It's about, I describe bike fitting in very layman's terms to people, and not as techie as some bike fitters. Scales. It's about getting an even balance. Okay. So if the weight's distributed right here and here and here, those 3 contact points, you shouldn't feel any pressure. But when one's lower than the other and the body can't take it, that's where the pressure comes in. So you can see how your back, you see when we started off, this bow in it. Now look at it straight.
That's so good.
And what we've done is we've like play with the cleat position. We've put in sort of like a wedge inside basically. Pulled the saddle forward, suddenly we're losing, I mean, just look at it. You've got this curve here, now we're straight.
Yeah, back's in a much better position.
Yeah, actually, I bet the shoulders are a little bit more relaxed now as well, aren't they? Yeah.
That's amazing. Honestly, like, it's so good. Like, it's such minor changes, but without this, you wouldn't be aware of it at all.
No.
And it makes such a huge difference.
It's sort of like the perception of being on the bike and then coming away trying to find the elements that are wrong. It's hard for the person that's cycling the bike because you can't see yourself. Where I see everybody as a skeleton. So I see what's going on, I can see where all the curves are and how to try and straighten out those issues basically. So it's quite funny though, isn't it? Just seeing...
Just the change on there.
Yeah, I mean look at the hunch you had on the back, it was bowed there, now it's literally straight there.
That's so good.
Isn't it? Yeah. It's crazy. It's quite mad when you show people, because before it's sort of like you're trying to explain what you've done and you may have only moved a few things in the syndicate. Don't feel like you've done nothing.
Yeah.
Then you look at this, and you can actually got a visual sight to be able to go, man, look at all this curve going on here. Now look at this. So much better. Less pressure.
Yeah, it's almost like without this, it'd be like you're just waiting to go out on like a big ride.
Yeah, to find out how it is.
Feel the benefits of like the adjustments and everything.
Yeah, and you see even here, like you can see how this is getting better as well. You can see here it's getting closer. So numbers coming down, which is good. So remember how we were talking about the shoes and how sort of like you can see sort of like little parts of your feet sort of like putting pressure points on here and here. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at a different shoe that's maybe a little bit wider for you on the sides, but how your feet are. When you take them out of the shoes, you can see them just flaring out a little bit. So I think maybe a wide foot shoe would be a bit better for you. So let's have a quick look at that for you. One of the most common things I change is that we find out people are riding the wrong size shoe. They'll come and go, yeah, my shoe's fine, no problems with it. And then we get a little bit deeper into like we did with yourself and go, do you get any pressure? Oh yeah, I get a little bit of pressure around the side here. Okay, so we put the shoes and we measure them up. I mean, a nice way of doing it is if you stand up, okay, let's get your old shoes. Put your old shoes like that. Now you stand over the side of them, yeah? Look at your feet.
Yeah, you can notice it.
How can you're literally squishing them into there. Then you put them against these ones here. Oh, you're looking better.
Yeah, looks like it should fit.
Yeah, they actually fit you. And they give you room to breathe as well. Where before, you've got no breathing room, that is what it is.
Yeah.
Finally now is going to take the measurements off your bike. So you know when we first came in, I took all the measurements. So that gives us now, basically, we have the start, we have a base. Now we moved on to what we've changed everything to. So by taking these measurements now, you've got them in case you need to, in the next couple of weeks you go away traveling or whatever, you can always get a tape measure and a plumb line and you can set your bike up basically. All you need to know is saddle height and saddle position. So we finished the bike fit now, Jacob. We've moved a few things to get you into a more optimized position and comfortable position. So we first started off with the feet. So we've moved the cleats further forward and angled them a little bit. We've also put a Vergus wedge in your right side shoe because you were pronating a little bit, so that stabilized it, brought the knee tracking back in, so it's sort of running on line again. Still some little changes maybe when we get you back in for your 4-6 weeks fit. We have also changed the angle of the saddle and the saddle position. So we've pulled you further forward because you had too much reach going to the bars. We've also angled it just by a couple of degrees to take away any pressure around the perineum area or soft tissue. And we then tilted the bars just a little bit because they were slightly down. So we've angled them up a little bit, not much, but it gives you a better seating basic position-wise, so your wrists aren't bent down so much. Things that you could do with changing, definitely have a look at a set of new shoes. Yeah. You are a wide foot, you're riding sort of like a narrow foot shoe. We identified that when you were in there, that there's too much pressure going on the sides. The other thing I would change to a 40 bar. You're riding 44 at the moment, so change down to 40, that would be ideal for you. Apart from that, that's really the end of the fit today. We need to get you back in about 4-6 weeks' time. Go out and ride for a couple of weeks, send me an email or text and say, hey, I'm ready, and we'll get you booked in for your next session. How can you... be edited. Yeah. Can you let me know how you felt with the fit? How have you felt after we've done the changes? How has it felt to when you first started?
It's been really good, really interesting experience. Definitely, I think I commented on my back at the start, and I think that's one thing watching the morphing that you've like corrected. Yeah. And I think I've been so impressed that with like what seemed to be such small changes, makes such a big difference. And it was like I think straight away with the cleat, like just moving that forward, straight away noticed the improvement in my pedaling, my back.
You're finding you're going to get a bit more power as well from that as well, because now we're activating the calf where we weren't as well. So
it's been really interesting. So thank you.
No, my pleasure. Brilliant.
And looking forward to riding.
Excellent. Brilliant.